I guess the first day in the Giro, you know, being the break, and that was pretty cool in Napoli. The circuits, you know, you're out on your own for so long, and you're doing laps. So after a few laps, everyone gets to know your name. So it's pretty cool. That many people screaming out to you and tell you to keep going. So that was a pretty special day.
How about your goals for this coming year?
Every time I race is a goal for me. I want to do well every time I'm out there. So, I kick things off in Australia and to it and under the Sun Tour, and get to Europe to my favourite probably race of the year being Catalunya. It's a race I tend to always do reasonably well in, and then start to aim towards May, and hopefully I'd love to be here for California, and should I be doing California, that'll be the biggest objective the first part of the year. Yeah, so we get quite a lot of times it seems a bit stagnant in the peloton. I'm a bit of a student of the sport. I obviously started late, so I didn't grow up in it. I've read a lot of the books, particularly the old guys, the Fignons, Hino, Merckx, more recently Sean Kelly, Copy. And the one thing that rings through them all is they just used to race. They used to attack solo. You know, the biggest stars of the sport attacking solo. You know, something that's pretty unheard of in the peloton these days. You got your odd guy like a Vukla or Jens or someone cool like that just absolutely liven up an event. And I think the more characters like that we can have in the sport, hopefully can make it all a little bit more exciting, and it's something I'd love to be a part of, on those moments where you think don't attack, why not give it a crack. I came to California, and straight after the camp I've been here 3 weeks, and been training down in I've been staying in Encinitas with one of the local Cannondale guys, Steve Quate, and I've been out doing all the bunch rides there. The Wednesday Worlds through Camp Pendleton, probably the hardest race I did all year, and then the Swammy's ride on Saturday morning, which was even harder than that, so that became the hardest race I'd done all year. And I did them for a few weeks, and something I'd never done in the past much in racing was just attack after attack after attack, to the point where you can start to feel when the field is actually getting tired around you and then attacking again. I've actually really, I've been going to those group rides, and I guess the people have been thinking, Cameron and Taylor Finney's been there with me, just trying to prove that you're stronger than everyone else. Well, I guess, of course we are, because we're meant to be the cyclists, but it's also been personally for me a great opportunity to practice doing exactly what I'd like to try and do in the peloton this year. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how good a stead it puts me in when I get to the first race of the year in Australia.
Awesome.
I don't think it was difficult because you still have the work ethic. I mean, in rowing, I'd still train 4 to 6 hours a day. It's just in a different structure. You'd go for a row in the morning, you'd go to the gym for a couple of hours, you'd go and do some cross training on the rowing machine or the exercise bike or a run, or something in the afternoon, another gym session or another row. So a lot of days I'd be training the same hours that you train on a push bike. It was just a matter of, instead of it being separated, it was all put together. And then you add the dynamics of the team element to it. And in rowing, it doesn't matter how strong you are or tough you are, or how even hard you train. You have to sit in the boat with other guys, unless you're in a single, and feel them and get the most out of them. And having, I think that, I guess, empathy or feeling for my fellow athletes around me gave me a greater way or an easier way of fitting into cycling, just being able to feel how the sport is and pick up on basically how to fit in and get the most out of myself and get the most out of others around me, now being my teammates. So I think I learned all the basic structural things I needed to be a cyclist. It's just I'd never actually ridden the bike. So I had all the foundations there. I just sort of had to build the house, so to speak. So it hasn't been too difficult.
What part of Australia did you grow up in?
I'm from Tasmania. So I think that helps too, because it's a small place, and particularly with rowing, I mean, we're obviously still some of the best in the world down there, athletes wise, but you've got more opportunity because there's less kids, and then, you know, as you move into under 23 and then senior level, people that you have to climb over to get to the top of your state, which then you can get to the top of your country, which then you can try and beat everyone in the world. So, but coming from a small place like Tasmania gives you an easier opportunity to shine in the first instance and then move on from there. And cycling's been no different. When I first started, we had Matthew Goss had just signed with CSC. He was the first sort of world tour guy from Tassie, and that was the first year I was riding, and it gave you the belief you could make it. This year we'll have 4, you know. 2 guys in Sky, of course, Richie Port, Nathan Earls just signed there, Matty Goss, of course, at Green Edge, and myself. And, you know, we've got Campbell Flakemore, 4th in the under-23 time trial at the Worlds last year, you know, kicking the door down to be somewhere next year. So it's a really exciting place to be, you know, coming from a small place like that, because, you know, guys like Nathan, guys like Campbell and Richie, and we all train together, and the young kids underneath us, and they can see that they can do it.